And I want, even though this is running later, and I know my staff is going to get me, because I told them we'd be going a half an hour ago, but I think it is critical that people, especially through the media, see that Larry Krasner is not standing alone. That he is standing with a tremendous amount of support in this community because he represents the votes of so many people. So with that said, let me just acknowledge the fact that also standing in the room, if you can just stand up when I call your name so we can recognize you. Anton Moore, Ruth, Landau, Erica Alvarone, Lise, and Tanya Bob. Thank you all so very much. And also faith community leaders, Archbishop Mary Floyd Palmer, if she made it, Reverend Donna Jones, and the closing prayer tonight will be done by Reverend Collier of Black Clergy. We want to now hear from a victim shot in 2018. He's here tonight standing. Jason Suber, who will be followed by Councilmember Gautier. Come on, Jason.
Good evening. My name is Jason Suber, and my life was affected by gun violence. My life was affected by gun violence. September the 18th, the 24th, 2018, I was shot 16 times. I had to learn how to talk. I had to learn how to walk. And during that time, it was like kind of rough, but the DA services, they helped me out with like funding and, get through a lot of stuff that I was going through. And I just want to say, we got to protect Philly democracy.
My brother, I love it.
And if we don't stand for something, we'll fall for anything. Thank you.
Feel good.
Praise.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. My name is Councilmember Jane Gautier, and I thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. It was very important for me to be here tonight to make a very clear statement. I stand in support of District Attorney Larry Krasner. And I And now the challenge. If you truly care about the well-being of Philadelphians, end this charade and pass new laws to get guns out of the hands of young people in our communities. If you truly want our communities to be safer in the near and long term, stop fighting us tooth and nail on efforts to improve education and quality of life, in particular for Black and brown folks in the city. Maybe have your select committee focus on those things instead of undoing democracy here in Philadelphia. And with that, I'd like to bring up my friend and my colleague, District Attorney Larry Krasner.
Simmer down or I'll lock you all up. Just kidding. So I really want to start by saying thank you to everybody who has come out tonight, and thank you to all of these community leaders, activists, elected officials, all these voters, all these people who still believe in our democracy. They still believe that we can do better, that we can reform things, that we can improve them. I want to thank you for everything that you do every day and everything that we are going to continue to do together to fight this nonsense, but also to bring reform to a criminal justice system that badly needs it and that can only get better with the support that you are providing. So will you join me in a hand and thank everyone for sitting down. I want to talk for a minute. I'm not going to talk long, but I want to talk for a minute about why. Did you ever wonder why, in the history of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, there has never been an effort to impeach anyone for their policies? The only impeachment efforts that have ever occurred at the Pennsylvania, the state, to my knowledge, the federal level, have been because people committed crimes. When and where have you ever heard anyone say that I or the DA's office has committed a crime? They know we haven't. There's not even a suggestion. This Commonwealth is hundreds of years old, and yet, for some reason, all of a sudden, we're going to try to do what? We're going to try to impeach somebody because we disagree with their policies, even after 2 consecutive landslide wins, because this administration represents what Philadelphia wants. And now I'm going to try to answer your question, because you should know what is happening in Philadelphia is happening to progressive prosecutors in Tampa, my friend Andrew Warren, in Fairfax County, Virginia, in Chicago, Illinois. Some of these knuckleheads are trying to impeach Kim Fox, who's done a fabulous job there. It is happening all over the country. Efforts at a recall of George Gascon in Los Angeles. It is happening all over the country, and I will tell you the reason they're doing this. Because they cannot win free and fair elections. They cannot win free and fair elections against progressive district attorneys in many jurisdictions because we are doing what our constituents want. We are bringing the change that our constituents need. Let me get more specific so you know what the playbook really is all over the country. More specific. 2 years ago, 10% of the United States lived in a jurisdiction with a reform prosecutor. Now, 20.1% of the United States population, over 75 million people, live in a jurisdiction with a progressive prosecutor. We are getting elected, and we are getting re-elected, and we are getting re-elected again. voting. Then they're going to try to stop counting the votes of the people, and when they can't do that, they're going to come back later and they're going to try to undo the election some other ways. What are those ways? We're going to come up with term limits. We're going to come up with ways to transfer power away from a prosecutor who has always had it in just certain places. We're going to come up with all kinds of harassing lawsuits and all kinds of time-wasting things and all kinds of bogus investigations and complaints. And you know what else we're going to do? We're going to come up with, I don't know, impeachment for, I don't know, policies. That's what we're going to do. The reason that this is going on is because our opponents know that reform prosecution is on the rise, that traditional prosecution will not survive if the people's voices are heard and if their votes are counted, and that's why they want to erase your votes. But it's even a little bigger than that, and I promise I won't go on forever. It's even a little bigger. Because when we run, what you see is not just that we're winning and winning by big margins. You're seeing that voter turnout is bigger than ever before. In 2017, we ran outsider candidate. Everybody said it wouldn't work, right? Donald Trump had just won Pennsylvania by a total of 40,000 votes across the entire state. Well, in Philadelphia, 6 months later, when we won, we turned out 50,000 completely unexpected votes, doubling turnouts from prior election cycles. And you know who those votes were. They were broke people. They were black people. They were brown people. They were all the people who have felt unrepresented and alienated by a government that wasn't working for them. And they turned out and they voted. The additional number of people who turned out to vote in just Philadelphia alone would have changed the outcome of the election when Donald Trump took Pennsylvania. What they know is that criminal justice reform is not just arguably as important a social movement as any in our time, but they know that criminal justice reform is the salvation of democracy, and they're not having democracy because it doesn't work for them. That is what's actually happening here. That huge increase in turnout in 2017, it happened again in 2021. It got bigger in 2021. And that experience is not isolated. When someone in government starts to say the things and do the things that people who don't trust government need and want, that is when you see tremendous numbers of people turn out, and they can't have that. It is a very long history that we have, a very sad history of government that kneels to power and to money. But this, in my lifetime, is the first time in the United States of America that I have seen people in politics actively working all the time to destroy democracy, to eliminate democracy. These people are holding hands with our historical enemies, whether they be foreign enemies like Russia, or they be historical enemies like the Confederacy, like the Ku Klux Klan, like white supremacy. That is what these people are doing. Make no mistake, they are coming for your throat. And we are not going to have it. So I want to thank you for everything that you are doing, have done tonight, everything that you will do working with us. And yes, I took off my jacket and rolled up my sleeves because we are working together. We got to keep working together. This is one battle in a long war. But the nonsense is going to come to an end. And David is going to beat Goliath. And I can say that in the house of faith. because you are there. And I'll tell you one thing for sure. This state, this legislature knows how to take your money for taxes. They're also going to give you representation. We are not going to have taxation without representation. Philadelphia is never going to be a colony of Pennsylvania. With your help, we can defeat that. Thank you very much.